a spectacular discovery was made by 25-year-old history student Ruben Schalk as he was doing research for his graduation thesis here in the West Frisian archives in the Dutch harbour town of Hoorn, just north of Amsterdam.
It stood out because it's a printed form, and regarding the year 1606 it's very rare to find a printed form.
At that point, Ruben was yet unaware that he was holding the oldest share certificate in the history of the free market, a share in the Dutch East India Company, the VOC, to the value of 150 guilders.
I wrote a piece about the archives for my thesis supervisor, and he said, I think it's a VOC share, and that's how we found out. I had heard of a website of the oldest known share of the VOC, and you can find it on Google. There's a picture of the VOC share on the website, and that one is dated the 29th of September 1606. And the one I found in the archives is dated the 9th of September 1606. So it's 20 days older than the oldest known share. And then I spent the night laying awake, thinking, wow, that's great.
The certificate is registered to a certain Mr. Pieter Harmens. Who was this Pieter Harmens? Where did he live? What was his occupation? That too could be traced in these archives.
If you know the name of a person and the years in which he lived, you can consult the local register of the church, which states when he is born and when he died and where he's buried. His testament is also can also be found in the archives.
Pieter Harmens was messenger to the mayor of the town of Enkhuizen. And this is the street where he lived. Now, most 17th century houses have gone, but you can still see that it was not exactly a posh neighborhood. Many people seem to think that only rich merchants could afford to buy shares in the VOC. But notably here in Enkhuizen and Hoorn there were also many small investors, and Ruben's find confirms this. Look, here it says in Dutch, the East India Company, Pieter Harmens, 150 guilders, the 9th of September 1606. Paid in 4 installments, which made Peter the co-owner of what was to be the world's largest and mightiest merchant fleet, with branch offices in Ceylon, in the East Indies, in China, even as far as Japan. The question remains why Ruben, from this enormous archive, singled out this particular box for his research. A lucky shot or intuition?
This particular one stood out because of its title. It was titled VOC Finances from 1602 to 1795. That was a bit peculiar because normally all the pieces regarding the VOC or the Dutch East India Company can be found in The Hague in the National Archives.
And so Ruben's find gives evidence to another thing, that behind this modern facade one can still dig for treasures and make new discoveries, like Ruben, who found here in the West Frisian archives nothing less than the world's oldest share.